have more bad news for you on the Savage Nation to prove once again that this year's flu shot is not only ineffective, it may be deadly. A few weeks ago, the clown who runs the NIH or the CDC, I don't know, Fauci of the NIH, had the nerve to get up and say that the flu shot is ineffective in 66% of cases, but you should get it anyway. So the wiser amongst us said, well, why should we get it anyway if it's only effective 33% of the time? Well, there's no other answer other than it's the medico-pharmaceutical establishment needs the profits. You see, they made the vaccine, even though they picked the wrong strain of flu for the shot. What are they going to do with all those shots? They can't dump them on Africans anymore. They can't get away with that. They can't go and inject people all over the world, so they have to use it. So you go like a good little sheep and you get injected. Newlywed dies of sepsis after getting flu. Now, I would say after getting flu shot. A Wisconsin newlywed started to feel sick with the flu on a Monday. By Friday, she was dead. Katie McQuestion, a 26-year-old radiologist from Kenosha, Wisconsin, got a flu shot to comply with hospital policy and had no underlying medical conditions. But she caught the flu anyway and developed a serious complication from it. Well, I wouldn't say it's from the flu shot. I mean, from the flu. It could be from the flu shot, sepsis. She died on January 2nd. She was the picture of health, her heartbroken mother told ABC News, adding that McQuestion was married in September. She said no 29-year-old should have buried his wife. They told her sepsis had set in, and it was too late, her mother said, adding that McQuestion had suffered a heart attack. By that time, all her organs had begun to fail. There was nothing they could do. Her family was in shock, her mother said. To go from not feeling good to dying is, well, there's no words for it. It just breaks my heart. She was such a great kid. I will go out on a limb and say once again that if a flu shot is only effective 33% of the time, why would the NIH encourage you to get it? Especially since flu shots are questionable to begin with. Even when they pick the correct strain of virus to make the vaccine from, they induce a sort of immune attack upon you that weakens your resistance not only to the flu, but to other conditions as well, not only according to Michael Savage, but to others in the alternative medical world, or call it complementary medical world, if you want to put it that way, of which I am still a proud member. Now let's listen back and turn the clock back on the Savage Nation to what Anthony Fauci of the NIH told America a few weeks ago.
Even though it isn't a good match to what's circulating with the H3N2, remember there's an H1N1 and B which matches well with the vaccine, even though that's not the predominant strain. Even though it isn't a good match for H3N2, getting vaccinated can give you cross protection. It could be the difference between getting very sick or just being mildly sick, the difference between being hospitalized or not. So we strongly recommend
he was right
people
about
getting
that.
vaccinated.
Right. In other words, it made this woman hospitalized, and she got very sick and was hospitalized. He wasn't lying about that. He was trying to make the other case, but in this case, the reverse is true. You know, are people that ignorant to understand that there are inherent dangers in all medications? Let me explain to you that the difference between a medicine and a poison is only a matter of dose in most cases. Did you know that? Did you ever hear that? Way back when, in my early years of graduate school, I was a pharmacology grad student. And one of the first things I learned from my pharmacology professor was that the difference between a medicine and a poison is often only a matter of dose. I never forgot that. But that also applies to vaccines. In this case, it's not a matter of dosage. It's a matter of the vaccine itself. And he just admitted that they missed the boat because they can't. They're not crystal ball gazers. When the pharmaceutical companies make vaccines, they have to guesstimate which strain or strains will be the likely strain to hit the country that will infect people. Well, they guessed wrong. But they didn't throw away all the vaccine, did they? No. All right, so I'm just saying, you know, buyer beware. Must you be that much of a sheep that when the Pope says man causes climate change, you get down on your hands and knees and agree with him? When the Pope says there should be limits on free speech, you say, great, amen? And when the Pope of the NIH says that the flu shot is good even though it's bad, you should say yes? Well, my bumper sticker in my head is question authority. And question me, by the way. And since I'm not an authority on anything, To you leftists, only people on NPR speaking with Vivaldi music behind them are authorities. See, I don't play Vivaldi. I like Vivaldi, but it's rather depressing. The people who listen to NPR think that they're the sine qua non of intellect, and they have all the answers. They speak quietly. They don't speak in a longshoreman's voice as I do. They whisper, so even the men sound like women on NPR. They don't want to ruffle any feathers. They don't want to upset anybody. They speak in dulcet tones, and they play a lot of Vivaldi, so therefore they must be smarter than I am. Yeah, maybe, maybe not.